CNN. Here's a look at the life of Joaquin Guzman, otherwise known as El Chapo, a Mexican drug lord who has repeatedly broken out of prison. He was recaptured in January 2016 and later extradited to the United States to stand trial on federal charges. Personal birth date: December 25, 1954 or April 4, 1957. Officials have released conflicting birth dates. Birthplace: La Tuna, Badiraguato, Sinaloa, Mexico. Birth name: Joaquin Archivaldo Guzman Lora. Father: Emilio Guzman Bastillos, subsistence farmer. Mother: Maria Consuelo Lora Perez. Marriages: believed to have been married at least 3 times, the most recent being to Emma Coronel Aceburo, 2007 present. Children: is purported to have fathered between 12 and 13 children. Other facts: the nickname, El Chapo, means shorty. Guzman stands 56 tall. Former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, which the U.S. Justice Department describes as one of the world's most prolific, violent and powerful drug cartels. Moving billions upon billions of dollars in marijuana, cocaine, heroin and methamphetamine. Was able to continue running the Sinaloa cartel in prison through bribes. The Sinaloa cartel controls roughly 40% to 60% of Mexico's drug trade, with earnings at around $3 billion annually. Claimed in 2014 that he has killed 2,000 to 3,000 people. Is said to be semi-illiterate, receiving no formal education beyond 3rd grade. Is known for using intricate tunnel systems for both evading authorities and moving the massive quantities of drugs that made the Sinaloa cartel so powerful. His cartel has produced, smuggled and distributed marijuana, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine and other types of drugs. According to the U.S. Treasury Department, he was considered the most powerful drug trafficker in the world. Guzman is perceived by some as a hero, with many narcocorridos, drug ballads, that glorify kingpins, written in his honor. There have been charges brought against Guzman in 10 legal cases in Mexico, as well as federal charges in Arizona, California, Texas, Illinois, New York, Florida and New Hampshire. He was convicted on 10 counts related to federal drug offenses in February 2019 after a trial in Brooklyn, New York. Timeline: 1960s, begins planting marijuana with his cousins. 1970s, begins running drugs to major Mexican cities and the U.S. border and working with major drug traffickers such as Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, leader of the Guadalajara cartel. 1980s, member of the Guadalajara cartel. After the arrest of Felix Gallardo, the cartel splits into factions. Guzman becomes leader of the Sinaloa cartel, Pacificoast faction. February 1992, police find the bodies of 6 of Guzman's top lieutenants dumped along Tijuana highways. The 6 men had been tortured and shot. November 1992, 6 people are gunned down at a discotheque in Puerto Vallarta by gunmen working for Guzman, whose targets are traffickers in the Tijuana. May 1993, gunmen with the Tijuana cartel attempt to assassinate Guzman in retribution, firing upon a vehicle at an airport. Guzman escapes unharmed, but Cardinal Archbishop of Guadalajara Juan Jesus Posadas Ocampa is killed accidentally, along with 6 others. June 9, 1993, wanted on charges of drug trafficking, murder and kidnapping, he is arrested in Guatemala and extradited to Mexico. Guzman is subsequently sentenced to a minimum of 20 years in a maximum security prison. Early 2000s, violence across Mexico escalates as El Chapo's Sinaloa cartel attempts to encroach upon Tijuana and Gulf Cartel territory. January 19, 2001, escapes the maximum security Puente Grande prison in Jalisco, Mexico, in a laundry cart. The planned escape requires bribes and cooperation, allegedly costing him $2.5 million, according to Malcolm Beath's book, The Last Narco. 2004, the U.S. government announces a $5 million reward for information leading to Guzman's arrest and conviction. May 2008, Guzman's son, Edgar, is murdered in a parking lot shootout near Culiacan, Mexico. 2009 Guzman and other cartel leaders are indicted on charges of conspiring to import more than 264,000 pounds of cocaine into the United States between 1990 and 2005. August 2011 Guzman's wife, Emma Coronel Aceburo, who has dual U.S.-Mexican citizenship, gives birth to twin girls in a hospital outside of Los Angeles. 2012 The U.S. Treasury Department uses the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act to freeze the U.S. assets of his relatives. February 22, 2014 Guzman is apprehended at a beach resort in Mazatlan, Mexico. July 11, 2015 escapes the maximum security Altiplano federal prison near Toluca, Mexico, by crawling through an opening in the shower area of his cell, blockletting to a nearly mile-long tunnel. October 2015 While on the run, he meets with movie star Sean Penn and Mexican actress Kate del Castillo. Penn's interview with Guzman subsequently runs in Rolling Stone magazine. "I supply more heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine and marijuana than anybody else in the world," Guzman is quoted in the interview. I have a fleet of submarines, airplanes, trucks and boats. January 8, 2016 Guzman is recaptured by Mexican authorities in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, after a raid leads to a shootout in which 5 people connected to Guzman are killed. May 9, 2016 A judge in Mexico approves the United States request to extradite Guzman, who faces charges in 7 states. Once extradited, he will be sent to Brooklyn, New York to stand trial on federal charges. January 19, 2017 Mexico's foreign ministry turns Guzman over to U.S. authorities. January 20, 2017 enters a plea of not guilty at his arraignment in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. November 13, 2018 Guzman's long-awaited criminal trial begins in a New York federal district court amid unprecedented security measures, including armed escorts for the anonymous and partly sequestered jurors, as well as heavily armed federal marshals and officers with bomb-sniffing dogs standing guard outside the January 15, 2019 Guzman once paid a $100 million bribe to former Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto, according to testimony given by a former close personal aide to Guzman during his trial. Peña Nieto's former chief of staff denies the allegation. February 12, 2019 Guzman is convicted of all 10 federal criminal counts against him, including engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, conspiracy to launder narcotics proceeds, international distribution of cocaine, heroin, marijuana and other drugs, and use of firearms. He faces a mandatory life sentence, without the possibility of parole for leading a continuing criminal enterprise, and a sentence of up to life imprisonment on the remaining drug counts. His attorneys say they plan to file an appeal on a number of issues. February 21, 2019 The U.S. Justice Department announces Joaquin Guzman Lopez and Ovidio Guzman Lopez, 2 sons of El Chapo, are charged with conspiracy to distribute drugs to be imported into the U.S. July 3, 2019 A federal judge denies Guzman's request for a new trial. July 17, 2019 Guzman is sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. He is also ordered to pay $12.6 billion in forfeiture. Restitution will be determined. October 17, 2019 Mexican security forces temporarily detain Ovidio Guzman Lopez during a shootout with suspected cartel members in Sinaloa state. Guzman Lopez's released and the operation suspended in order to save lives. February 22, 2021 Guzman's wife is arrested at Dulles International Airport in Virginia. Coronel is facing charges of conspiracy to distribute 1 kilogram or more of heroin, 5 kilograms or more of cocaine, 1,000 kilograms or more of marijuana and 500 grams or more of methamphetamines for unlawful importation into the country, according to a news release from the Justice Department. June 10, 2021 Coronel pleads guilty to 3 counts: conspiracy to distribute heroin, cocaine, marijuana and methamphetamine for importation into the United States, conspiracy to launder monetary instruments, and violating the Kingpin Act by engaging in transactions and dealings in property of Guzman. November 30, 2021, Coronel is sentenced to 3 years in prison and 4 years of supervised release. She must forfeit $1.5 million and pay a $300 special assessment fine for each of the 3 counts to which she pleaded guilty. January 25, 2022, a panel of appellate judges upholds the 2019 conviction of Guzman, rejecting his assertions that he was treated unfairly. In their decision, the 3 judges rule that U.S. District Judge Brian Cogan, who oversaw Guzman's federal case in Brooklyn, conducted the 3-month trial with diligence and fairness, after issuing a series of meticulously crafted pretrial rulings.